flight from Detroit to Tokyo, Japan. Sorry.
It's not 7 yet.
Oh.
It's not quite
Is a
7. That
forever
clock's
flight.
a little
1
fast.
minute.
I know. I'm
How long
behind.
was it? 1 minute to walk?
It's like 12 and a half hours.
Just in the air the whole time?
In the air from Detroit to Tokyo.
Okay.
Don't get, it
We're
was
gonna sail through this.
comfortable. I mean, I took business
Okay.
class because,
This gentleman
I
sitting
just
right
need something bigger
there.
than
He was down
I mean,
12
some of
hours.
those, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he'd been
And it was
an hour.
nice.
Oh.
From Detroit. But I told him yesterday.
Yeah, good. Use it.
No, we
Okay,
don't.
7 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. Roll call. Yeah, roll call.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Knew it is.
Barlow. Bergeron.
Here.
Brem.
Here.
Devroy.
Here.
McLean.
Here.
Rezegi.
Here.
Rocha.
Here.
Stenzelbarton.
Here.
Tassava.
Here. Entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Barlow.
I will make that motion to excuse Councilmember Barlow.
Support.
That wrote you?
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Brem, supported by Rocha, to excuse Councilmember Barlow tonight. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm all right tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everybody get a chance to look at the agenda for tonight? Any additions or corrections?
No, I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Second.
Motion by McLean, supported by Devroy, to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Also in your packet, you have the minutes of the August 11th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Any questions, comments, or corrections on that?
Your Honor, I move to we approve those minutes for August 11, 2025 as written.
Support.
Motion by Stenzelbarton, supported by McLean, to approve the minutes of the August 11th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. There's no questions or comments. Roll call.
Stenzelbarton.
Yes.
Bergeron.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Devroy.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Rocha.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Tonight we have a public hearing. The public hearing has to do with homeowner rehab, CDBG grant application. You want to get up and talk about that, Dan?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The past 3 years, the city has been participating with the Neighborhood Enhancement Program grant through the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, MSHDA. MSHDA discontinued that program at the end of last year, so they've replaced it with the MI Neighborhood Program. It's a CHILL grant and another acronym. There's several different components. One of those components is the homeowner rehabilitation program, which, from what we understand from MSHDA, it's similar to the former NEP program grant. The difference is the dollars that will be used to fund these come from the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funds, which is more federal in nature. So there'll be, besides some state guidelines through MSHDA, there'll be some federal guidelines that we will also have to follow through this grant application. We've been invited to apply after initial letter of interest sent to MSHDA back several months ago. They acknowledged that letter of interest and they have invited us to apply for the grant. The grant application deadline is September 17th. So as a part of that grant application, we are required, or the city is required, to hold a public hearing per the CDBG standards, which is what the council will do tonight, is conduct a public hearing. The next step at the next council meeting will be to have council draft a resolution certifying the individuals who can sign on behalf of the city. Generally, it's the highest ranking elected official, which would be the mayor, but we'll be working on that draft resolution for the next council meeting. What we're proposing to do with these funds are similar to what we've done in the past. Grant awards are for exterior projects. The CDBG through MISTA do allow some internal projects with this grant, so we will be able to offer it up to a little bit more internal uses. But we do intend to manage and administer the program similar to what we did the last 3 years. One also nice feature about this is rather than targeting specific areas of or quadrants of the city, we can open this up citywide. There will be income, it will be income controlled, similar to the NEP grant. The income levels will be a little bit lower from a median income level, truly low to moderate income. So with that, I entertain any questions that any council has.
We'll go right down the line. John, do you have any
Yeah,
questions?
I'm just curious, because I know we do a lot of grants and stuff, so I'm just curious, the public hearing reasoning behind this one in particular. I didn't,
Required.
it's just a, okay.
It's a federal requirement or
Okay.
standard.
All right, I didn't know if there was something special or anything like that.
No, we have to make available to the public via the public hearing notice what the funds are going to be used for, homeowner rehab, what the target market will be from an income level, and we have to make it subject to a public hearing where the public can comment on that grant application.
Thank you.
Jerry?
The target amount of income, do we know a dollar amount, a general dollar amount?
60 to 80% of the area median income.
And our area median income
Right
is?
now, for one person, I believe it's 53,000. So it would be whatever 80% of that or 60%.
And how much money would they get for the grant?
Up to $9,999.
Thank you.
Anything over that, there's additional standards, requirements. In this case, there's actually a mortgage that has to be placed on the property for 5 years. If they would happen to sell the home before the 5 years would expire, then there's clawback amounts. So for ease of administration and for simplicity of informing the public, we're capping it similar to what we did with the NEP at that $9,999.
Thank you.
Any questions, Jordan?
Nope.
Jackie? Ann? John? Mike?
How does that work in terms of if somebody does want to take advantage of it, who do they talk to? Somebody here within the city?
Yeah, we will, the Community Development Department, myself and Sandy, we will be administering the program. Along with the grant application of $300,000, the MISTA also allowed or allocated an additional 18% for third-party grant administrator funding. So it's highly likely that we will make use of that and procure a third-party grant administrator for the back-end future administration and possibly even the front end. With CDBD dollars comes, constant income monitoring for a certain period of time, other federal monitoring, and close out of the program after 3 or 4 years. And a lot of those activities are very specialized.
Well, I think it's a great program. The last few years we've had it, one of the things I didn't like about it, I think we picked the ward, like we picked second ward or we picked first ward, And there was a lot of people that were let off, so that didn't get a chance to apply for it. So I think this is great because anybody in the city can apply for it.
Anybody within the chosen or predetermined income thresholds.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dan. I'll open the public hearing. Anybody here would like to get up and talk about this CBG grant application or anything? I'll close the public hearing. Next item, public comment. Anybody here would like to get up and talk for 3 minutes? Tell me who you are and where you live, and I'll let you have 3 minutes.
I'll do it.
Okay,
Where do I go?
we're at the podium
Oh, up
right there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Andrea Keel. I grew up in Hastings, and I lived in the city for 35 years and recently moved back here. I bought my parents' homestead at 609 East State Road. My father had a stroke 10 years ago. The property hasn't been maintained as it really would have been had he not had that stroke. And since I've been living there, and I was recently widowed, so moved back to Hastings. And looking forward to it, love Hastings, love the area, and was really tired of living in the city. So I'm going about my merry business of consolidating properties, and I've put things out on the curb to give away, and they're usually gone within an hour, maybe 2. Well, I had some items out by the road in this. I didn't know it was a violation. So this gentleman is literally banging on my doorbell. I mean, not pushing it once or twice, like boom, 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 boom. And then sort of, I answer the door, and he rudely tells me that, he was just rude and very, I don't know, it just was not very personable, and told me that these things on my curb were a violation. Okay, fine. However, then he later goes and sends a letter to my previous address in Hastings, in Grand Rapids, and I'm not sure why he sent it there, but he took pictures, printed out, used a lot of ink. I mean, what a big deal this was, to print this out. And then to an address where I no longer live. I mean, obviously, I live here because I bought the property there. So then, I don't get the mail up there very often, so I mean, I could have been in violation, and gotten a fine if I hadn't taken care of the problem. And then I later, after going back to my property in Grand Rapids to check on things, I have another letter from this gentleman. And this was a picture of mine and my son's car parked next to the house. Now, mind you, since I've moved in, I've done nothing but improve the property, okay? And as you can, if I pass this around, you can see there's like grass growing in the driveway. So our cars were parked next to the house for about 18 hours or something. We did it the night before because I didn't know what time the truck, Pat Golnick, would be coming to the house with his truckload of crushed asphalt to put in my driveway. And if you were to go by there today, you would see that the driveway's all nicely, has a crushed asphalt in it and looks all nice and tidy. And our cars were there less than 24 hours, and this guy, had to harass me I feel like I'm being harassed now. Welcome back to Hastings.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Mrs. Richard Curtis. I live on East Madison Street for 31 and a half years. I have a few concerns that I wanted to come and share with you. Is there a way that we can adopt an ordinance in the city of Hastings concerning loud noises and excessive partying all night long? I have talked to the chief, and chief of police, and he said that there would be no way anybody's going to tell him how to run the city. This was a concern. And if I keep calling him about the concerns with my neighbors, that him and his officers would, he might not respond. I do feel that this is a need for an ordinance. I don't like drama. I'm almost 2 months and 3 years of being 70, so I'm not a young lady. I'm getting up there in age. I have a lot of health issues. I have a family member that has to get up early morning to go to work, and they need their sleep. I am not getting the help from law enforcement, period. I'm not, So I'm reaching out. I had to reach out to contact somebody, and I ended up contacting my state representative, which is Gina Johnson. She's in our district. So I contacted her because I felt like I didn't know who to turn to. I needed to talk to somebody because of all the partying and noise and not getting the rest. She was concerned too, as well. So what can we do to correct these issues? That's just a big concern about the noise, or the noise ordinance and the partying all night long, and it could be all weekend long. It's on a regular basis. What can we do to correct these issues? Does anybody have any questions? I'm here to figure out what we can do. So, does anybody have questions?
Linda, I've told you before, this is just
I can't hear.
public comment. It's not.
Oh, just
we
a
don't
comment?
back and forth
Okay.
stuff, just public comment.
Okay, I get you. Thank you for letting me know that. Because I'm here in my present, this is the last thing I want to mention. Because I'm here in my present, I don't want to be harassed by the police or by my neighbors. I don't want to be harassed by anybody. I don't want drama. I want to live in my home. I want to be able to feel safe where I'm at. I want to be able to enjoy my life and not have to deal with all the partying and all the noise and all the activity and people coming and going. I just don't want, I don't want to be harassed.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
I feel like that has all happened. And we just got to address these issues, You're disturbing the peace.
Okay, thank you. Your time's up.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, Dave Hatfield can't make it tonight, so we'll move on. Items for action. Items for action by unanimous consent. Consider approval of the Mid-Michigan Lady Bolts to use the Fish Hatchery softball field on Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. August 28th, 2025 through October 30th, 2025, and for a hit-a-thon event on Sunday, October 26th, 2025 from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion to support that, or approve it. I'll support it.
Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Devroy, to approve of the Mid-Michigan Lady Bolts to use the Fish Hatchery softball field on Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. August 28, 2025 through October 30th, 2025, and for a hit-a-thon event on Sunday, October 26, 2025 from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Any questions?
What is a hit-a-thon? Anybody know?
Don't know, some kind
I
of
used to play
tournament
baseball.
event.
I want to know what a hit-a-thon is. I want to swing the bat. I want to be part of it.
Well, unfortunately, the person who requests is not here tonight, so
Okay, I'll remain ignorant.
we'll have Dan get a hold of this person. He'll report back to you.
Thank you, Dan.
Any other questions? Okay, no further comments. Roll call.
Bergeron,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Devroy,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Items of business. Consider adoption of Resolution 2025-23 to authorize the purchase and sale agreement with AIO operating for an easement at the North Water Tower, 107 West Blair Street in Hastings. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution 2025-23.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by McLean, seconded by Rocha, to adopt Resolution 2025-23 to authorize the purchase and sale agreement with AIO Operating for an easement at the North Water Tower, 107 West Blair Street in Hastings. It's 107A.
That's what the parcel address is.
Okay. Any comments, questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is this something that we've traditionally been paid on a yearly basis for?
Correct, yep. So we have a lease agreement right now with AT&T. So they pay us monthly. So instead of doing that, they'll be paying this new company in exchange for them paying us a lump sum up front.
And it's still a 50-year lease?
No, so our existing lease agreement with AT&T is, it's on like 5-year renewal periods. I don't know what the total amount was.
So they're gonna go from leasing to owning, basically?
So instead of us leasing directly to AT&T, we're selling the easement to another company that's taking over that lease with AT&T.
Gotcha.
Or whatever subsequent company they end up leasing to.
Okay, I'm a little slow sometimes, so I just need a little help.
It's like a little complicated.
Well, I don't think Mike was on the council when
No,
we
I don't-
approved.
no.
We
Yeah, it was back in the spring.
we had 3 or 4 different options, and the council at that time picked this option.
Okay.
And then we authorized the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate with them. Any other questions? Mike, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, roll call.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Bergeron,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Catch up. Okay, the next item, item B, consider approval of the the proposal by All Call Restoration to remodel the fire department bathrooms for $24,432.57 with a $5,000 contingency for a total of $29,432.57. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
That motion
We're gonna let Rocha do it this time.
We need some player.
Would you like
We need some
support?
player.
You guys were both,
Really? I didn't even hear.
that's why they got me sitting here.
Okay.
You wanna support that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, motion by Rocha, supported by Devereaux, to approve the proposal by All Call Restoration to remodel the fire department bathrooms for $24,432.57 with a $5,000 contingency for a total of $29,432.57. Questions,
No,
comments?
I just wanted to say, Chief, I've been in some places in the desert overseas, and I'll tell you what, that needed some help. So I'm very happy to approve that. That needed some help, for sure.
Terry?
He's stealing my jokes.
I know.
Way to go. I've got nothing.
Jordan? No. Well, hopefully you all got a chance to go to the pancake breakfast Saturday, and I don't think Mark had a guided tour, but he asked people to look in the door.
He did offer a tour.
Did
and
he?
It was the most disgusting.
Well, he
It was the most disgusting tour you've been on.
$5 toll.
He offered it to my wife, but she didn't want to take the tour. Jackie, any comments?
And no, I'm glad to see this happening.
Ann?
Ditto.
John?
I've been in them bathrooms before, and to be honest with you, Mark, I went down to the beer tent and used their porta johns. They were much cleaner.
That's
Mike?
funny.
Or better, we'll put it that way.
I saw the pictures of the bathrooms, I've never been in there.
Oh, those pictures aren't
Yeah.
even
No.
enough.
Well, anyhow, we have a motion and support. Any further comments? Roll call.
Rocha,
Yes.
Bergeron,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, item C, consider approval of the purchase of a 2026 HV 507 single axle cab and chassis from West Michigan International for $114,357.74, and upfitting for that truck from Truck and Trailer Specialties for $107,235. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve that purchase.
Do I hear support?
I support it.
Okay, we have a motion by McLean and a support by Brem to approve the purchase of a 2026 HV 507 single axle cab and chassis from West Michigan International for $114,357.74, and the upfitting for that truck from Truck and Trailer Specialties for $107,235. Any questions? Go ahead.
$221,000 for a truck, what's it gonna be used for? It's just a dump truck? I'm sorry, I don't mean it like that, just a dump truck, but $221,000?
That's correct. So this dump truck, it will be used for plowing, and it'll be hooked up for a salter too, for backup. It will also be used for hauling leaves, brush.
The one we're
anything
looking
else
at,
you
I'm
need.
sorry, the one we're looking at is the one that you're getting rid of.
That is correct.
You're getting rid of that one to replace it.
Yes,
How long did this one last?
24 years.
How long do you expect this new one to last?
24 years.
Minimum of 24 years, 20 to 24 years.
I'll go with 20 real quick. Thank you. Sorry.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Go ahead, John.
actually on that same note, are you planning on getting rid of this? Are we selling it? Or are you going to use it as a continued backup?
This one will be sold at auction.
Okay.
You know, you're almost done getting rid of stuff that I bought. You
Well,
got
let's
a
see,
couple
we
more
got
pieces over there.
a couple more.
Yeah. Any other questions? Roll call.
Brem,
Yes.
Bergeron,
Yes.
Stenzelbarton,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Devroy,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, next item, consider approval of a purchase order for chip sealing contract and proposal from Ace Asphalt and Paving in the amount of $132,000, $132,734.25. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor. I'll support it.
Okay, a motion by Stenzelbarton, supported by Brem, to approve a purchase order for chip sealing contract and proposal from Ace Asphalt and Paving in the amount of $132,734.25. Discussion. Anybody down there? Okay, no further discussion. Roll call.
McLean,
Yes.
Stenzelbarton,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Bergeron,
Yes.
Devroy,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. In your packet, you have an item, consider approval for fiscal year 25. I guess that's 2025. Lead line replacements by Advantage Plumbing and drain in the amount of $157,290. Or is that 25 lead services?
No, it's 2025.
Okay, I'm missing the 20. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve that.
Okay.
I support.
Okay, we have a motion by McLean, supported by Stenzelbarton, to approve for fiscal year 2025 lead line replacements by Advantage Plumbing and Drain in the amount of $157,290. Questions?
Yeah, just one question. It says it's a budget item. Do we know how much the budget line was for that? The expense wasn't?
So there's two parts that make up that. There's contracted services, the part that we contract out to Advantage, and then there's the materials that we're actually purchasing. And I want to say it's $250,000 or so
I believe so.
for those two things combined.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
So it's a very
comes out of water and
substantial
sewer fund,
project.
doesn't it?
Yes, that's correct. It all comes out of the water and sewer fund.
Any other questions?
How many replacements is that?
100.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Bergeron,
Yes.
Deveroy,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Next item, consider authorization of the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding for ambulance service contingent on final review and approval by the city attorney. And I think we had notification that the approval had been made.
That's correct. So the
Okay.
latest draft at your desk has been reviewed and approved by the city attorney.
This one right here. Okay. Everybody get a chance to look at that? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I will support Mr. Brem.
Okay, we have a motion by Brems, supported by Stenzel Barton, to authorize the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding for ambulance service, contingent on final approval of the city attorney. We have that approval. Any questions?
Just a comment, Your Honor. There was a section raised by some townships on section 4 on here. I just wanted to make a remark that it's very refreshing when you look at that, it comes into question, and then you take a look at it and realize it needs to be removed because it's not in here. That just tells me that you actually do listen to the people in the community, and I just wanted to say thank you for that because that was refreshing. I know it's not in here, so it's not a part of this memo, but it's just refreshing to see that.
Well, we're going to introduce Mark Meyer. He's going to get up here and tell you a little bit. But I told Mark at the fire meeting a couple weeks ago, I hold the gavel. So, have at it, Mark.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, full disclosure, the city manager said my presentation had to be under an hour. So,
All right.
Get out of here.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Rough crowd.
I guess
well, thanks, everybody. Just to put a little context with what you just voted on, I'm Mark Meyer, president of Life EMS Ambulance, and so just wanted to touch on a little bit why the heck that we're here, Life EMS wise, and then just some quick little background on who we are and answer any questions you might have. So, as you all know, the Mercy Ambulance folks out of Lansing, the Palmer family, have served the city of Hastings and the surrounding area with paramedic ambulance service going back really before paramedics for many decades. And they've worked real hard to provide that service to the community. They've talked to us over the years. I've known the Palmers for a very long time and know Rodney Sr., who some of you may not have met. But at any rate, in the last probably year or so, they were talking to us about potentially taking over their operation. And then just a matter of a few weeks ago, we were talking and they had a very heightened sense of urgency that they needed to do something to preserve ambulance response in the greater Hastings area. And so Rodney and Dennis Palmer, the two sons that operate the service, their main desire was to ensure that you all were served with some of the challenges they were having, and so they didn't want to have their business get compromised and not provide the service that they've committed to for decades. So at any rate, that kind of culminated in us first talking with the city manager and the fire chief to see if there was any interest in having us from Life EMS Ambulance provide this level of service. So we had a preliminary meeting, and then next in our progression was to talk to the folks that actually work here, the EMTs and paramedics, to determine, kind of feel them out, see if they were interested in continuing to serve the community, which thankfully most all of them are. And so we wanted to have that discussion prior to any additional discussion with municipalities, et cetera. Subsequent to that, we met with the Birch Fire Association, is that the right term, Chief? To talk with the townships in addition to the city to kind of give them a little primer into this is what we're thinking and what have you, and came up with we would begin service at 8 a.m. on September 15th. So I just want to apologize in advance that this is all happening kind of fast, and you guys may be going, who the Sam Hill or you from Life EMS to be here and whatever, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I just want to assure you all that our primary goal here in the short run is to make sure that there's seamless transition between Mercy Ambulance and ourselves. Our folks at Life EMS have been working very hard to make sure that that happens, both in assimilating the current workforce, talking with the chief, talking with Central Dispatch, trying to get all of our ducks in a row. So we're pleased to report that that's going quite smoothly in the very compressed time frame we're doing it in. As we speak this week, we're starting orientation with the local workforce, the EMTs and paramedics that have been hired by us, so to speak, beginning in September. So we're starting our orientation process, which involves a multitude of things, kind of learning some of, we have a little different operational tendencies, so to speak, from anybody, including Mercy Ambulance. And so we'll be going through that, everything from our policies and procedures to emergency driving, all of that kind of stuff. So that's happening as we speak. We will continue for the time being to operate out of the facility that Mercy Ambulance used at 504 South Michigan. So that's where we'll be based. We're beginning operation in September with two 24-hour staffed paramedic ambulances. And so we anticipate one's going to be staffed with folks working a 24-hour shift, and then one will be staffed with folks working a 12-hour shift. We'll probably have some of our existing field supervisors will be assigned here to work one of those 12-hour shifts to provide a little continuity in how we do things and whatever. So in September, you'll see green and white ambulances here and hopefully long into the future. So that's a little bit about this kind of fast transition. So maybe I'll stop there real quick and see if anybody has any questions about what the heck we're doing.
We'll start down here with Mike.
So Ken, you're picking up on a contract that already exists. When does that contract end?
Goes through the end of 2026.
Okay.
And so, we're eyes wide open that obviously we'd like it to go longer than that. We're planning on being here well into the future, should you all be pleased with the kind of service that we provide. And we're confident we're going to make that happen. We also understand, and the city manager is very upfront, that you all have entered into a consultant agreement to kind of get some feedback on a consultant's perspective of how EMS should be delivered in Hastings and the surrounding areas. We're clear on that. We hope that our performance and how we do things and stuff will provide an exclamation point at some point that we're the service that you could depend on.
Great, thank you. John?
No questions.
Ann?
Is there anybody that is currently working for Mercy that will continue to work, or are you bringing your own?
Close to a dozen folks so far. One of the things, and again, I'll touch on a little bit of history in a second on Life EMS, but we cover about 5,200 square miles of West Michigan from a paramedic 911 standpoint. So the urban areas of Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and those metro areas. But then also, we operate in the poorest county in Michigan, which is Lake County, where they provide us a substantial level of resources to have 2 paramedic ambulances there to cover a county that's 2/3 national forest, et cetera, et cetera. So at any rate, we've got to have local people working in the community. So we'll be supplementing that like we do with a lot of our operations. The folks may be coming from Kalamazoo or Grand Rapids in the short run, but we will not, we can't have a sound operation here without having people living in the community. So, and some of those folks, are going to have to kick the tires with us and make sure that, we do what we say we do, that kind of thing.
Becky?
Nothing.
Well, I listened to you, last week, I think it was, at the Birch meeting, and I was impressed. I was impressed with, you have 700 employees. That's quite a workforce. I saw a report, I think last week one day, and I might have mentioned to your supervisor was at Pancake Breakfast, that a lot of what you guys do, if you're transporting patients, you might not use an ambulance, you might use a car or a van. So that's kind of neat when I heard that, but.
Thank you.
Jordan?
Yeah, my only question was similar to Ann's, whether you were going to offer to keep the local employees on, so I'm satisfied with what you've already said.
Thank you.
Terry?
They've already said it as well, so.
Don?
I'm good.
Right.
Well, just to very, very briefly, and I could talk, as some folks in this room know, for a long time on EMS, but at any rate, Life EMS, we're in our 45th year of operation. Started in kind of the metro Grand Rapids area back in 1980. And to give you a sense of how old I am and whatever, and we are as an organization. So our first patient that we transported February 22nd of 1980 was from the emergency room at Butterworth Hospital to what was then the one and only CAT scan unit in all of West Michigan, which happened to be in a doctor's office building, not at any of the hospitals. So that kind of kept us in business for a while, because we started out with 6 of us that were medics, myself included, and then 1 non-medical person. And so most of the folks in the community knew of us from other ambulance services that we worked at. So that kind of got us going. And so we grew from the 7 folks originally to now we employ close to 750-ish folks. Throughout we're currently licensed in 10 counties, soon to be 11 here in Berry County, because in Michigan, a paramedic ambulance service has to be licensed in each individual county that we operate in. So, many of you may know that we're in neighboring Ionia County, Kalamazoo County, and Allegan County, in addition to our other service areas. And as I might have mentioned at the Birch meeting, I'm still licensed as a paramedic. If you look up and see me over you in the need of an ambulance, you might be a little nervous, might be a little rusty with some of the technology, but at any rate, most all of our leadership are still licensed as paramedics. But so we're very proud of our workforce. We do a lot of different things at Life EMS besides paramedic ambulance services. The mayor mentioned we started 3 years ago a behavioral health transport platform of moving patients to psychiatric hospitals, not in an ambulance, and for a number of reasons, mainly safety and cost and dignity of those patients. But then that also returned a lot of our ambulance staffed hours back out on the street, providing clinical support to those communities. And then I think one other thing I just want to touch on real quick is one of the things that we developed at the beginning of the pandemic, because our company was growing a lot when the pandemic hit. We were hiring a lot of folks, and then everything stopped hiring-wise and training-wise of all of the programs that did EMT and paramedic training. And so early on in the pandemic, we said, well, gosh, hopefully this will pass. And so once we get back to whatever we call more normal business volume, what are we going to do for staff? We'd always had an accredited paramedic training program where we did one paramedic class a year and then a couple of EMT classes to kind of be the icing on our recruitment cake. And so we made the determination in 2020 to get full bore into our own talent pipeline. And so as an example, the last thing that spurred us to do that in 2020 was we said, well, one of our leaders said, good news is we hired 100% of the paramedics graduated from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Bad news is that was 3 paramedics. And so I said, that's not going to work. So in 2024, we trained, I think, in the neighborhood of 35 paramedics and about 250 EMTs. And so we're kind of feeding our own talent needs in doing scholarships and stuff, so you can start working for us, go through all the training basically for no cost with a work commitment. And so that's been very, very effective. We do a lot of high school EMT classes. We were the first one in the country to do that about 25 years ago in Metro Grand Rapids, and that's been a huge positive impact for us. So really training of folks is kind of what allows us to even be standing here. Otherwise, for example, during the pandemic, a number of counties would call us because normally our growth is coming into areas that are having issues with their EMS delivery. And during the pandemic, we'd say, well, gosh, are you having quality issues or you just don't have any people? Well, we don't have any people. It's like, well, we don't have a closet full of medics here either. So we've had to walk away from some opportunities, but now we're starting to finally get caught up. So at any rate, just want you to know that we're accessible 24/7 through our control center, which was what we call our dispatch center. And so anytime you all have concerns or whatever, please let us know. And certainly the city manager has our contact information, and of course the chief as well. So thank you very much for letting me ramble on, and we certainly look forward to being a positive part of the community. So thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
It's been a while. Did we vote on this?
No.
We have a motion.
We have a motion by Brem, supported by Stencil Barton, to authorize the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding for ambulance service.
We're all gonna say no. Yeah.
What?
Just a mess with them. We're all gonna say no.
Roll call.
Stencil Barton.
Yes.
Bergeron.
Yes.
Rocha.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Devroy.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Staff presentations, policy discussions. Consider proceeding with developing an assistant city manager position and eliminating the office of director of public works. Sarah?
So as I've described in my memo, we've had a lot of time to consider this position since there's been a vacancy and to experience several seasons through the DPS department with this change. When the position was vacated, some of the responsibilities were picked up by Vernon Robb, some by myself, some by the special projects director, and some were contracted out. So we've spread quite a bit out. We've noticed some redundancies in certain facets of it, as well as some need for some more focus in certain areas, and not just in the public services department, but also in other areas of the city and things that you guys have expressed that you wanted to focus on, things that are outlined in the annual council goals that we haven't been able to give as much directed attention to as I think is desired. So my recommendation is, I've talked to Vernon Robb, I've talked to Vester. We all feel that things are going pretty well with the way that they're split now. I had initially considered taking what remains of the public services director position and putting that in a job description for an assistant manager and then adding on some other roles. But I think that that would be a very difficult job to fill, and an even harder job to keep, especially with what we would be paying for that. So instead, I would like to maintain some of those roles, and then there's some things that I do and special projects that I'd like to shift over to this assistant manager role. I think that there's a number of responsibilities, that there are more people with wider backgrounds that translate over to those kinds of things than there are in public services. Because it's its own world, it's got its own lingo, and it's something that isn't as easy to find people who have that background knowledge that can translate that over in a way that's meaningful, especially when it's just a fact of life that there are turnovers in positions, right? So if something like that was vacated, that would be a struggle. And that's something that we've struggled with this position, the way that it has been. There's been a number of people in this position in the past several years. So we'd like to create some more stability for the department. So it's my recommendation that we dissolve the office of the Director of Public Services and instead have an assistant manager position that could do the special projects, that could focus on public communications, and some of the things that you've wanted to put more focus on as a council and as the city.
Any questions?
As a matter of fact,
Go ahead.
I read through this and I understand that the position and everything. To me, when I read assistant city managers, if you take 2 weeks off, the assistant city manager is going to take over.
That would be one thing that they could do.
Yeah. Where, when I read your job functions, I mean, we have wonderful people who filled in for you before without destroying the city, though he tried. And this is just me, this seems like a special assistant to the city manager. And when I first read through the position, and it's just me, I don't see them as somebody who could fill in for you, where we have better people for that, but someone who is a special assistant to you. Is that possible? Would that fit your parameters at all?
I would like for there to be somebody who is able to fill in for me. That would be my first choice. So a lot of city managers have assistant city managers. They also have something called an assistant to the city manager, which I think is kind of what you're describing.
Right.
I would like to get somebody who's a little bit more experienced. This is not their first job. They would be able to fill some of those roles on a temporary basis. That would be my objective.
Okay. When I first read that, it's just where I stood. Okay.
Questions? Any more?
I've got one. Similar, but not the same issue. Would you consider a position like this to be kind of almost like a stepping stone job? Like, would you expect someone to come and take this assistant city manager and just because it looks good on a resume?
Potentially. You never know what's going to make people stay. There's people who I thought, oh, they're going to move on in a few years, and they've stayed for a while. And they've had the opposite happen. People take jobs and leave jobs for a wide variety of factors that are personal to them. And I try not to make assumptions about, what people are or aren't going to do unless they voiced that in an interview. It's certainly possible, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want some of those higher level public works things a part of this job, because of that potential for transition.
Okay.
Jackie?
Nothing.
Ann?
So, not to get to the bottom line, but I thought I read that you would be offering this position at something like 10,000. Is that?
I think that the what we'll end up spending in wages is about 10,000 more than what we're budgeted at.
Okay.
I don't know that that will be the case. It will be dependent on
What they come to
on
the
their
table
qualifications.
with. Yeah,
Correct. Yep.
Do you think that for everything, because it sounded like a lot of different duties and different avenues that the job would take, do you see somebody coming to the table for what we're offering it for?
I do,
Okay.
yes. I've compared the wage range to assistant city manager roles throughout the state in communities of similar size with similar responsibilities, and I think that we can be right on target with a lot of other communities in similar situations.
And you
Question, John?
think that this way, I'm sorry.
Sorry, you're
I
on
know
that.
you're
Go ahead.
And you think that this will run much more efficiently than having the public?
It'll give us more flexibility
Okay.
because it's not just somebody doing public works. They can do a wider variety of things. So I'm hoping that makes us a little bit more flexible and able to respond to upcoming issues or challenges with a little more dexterity.
John?
No question.
Mike?
No, Your Honor, no questions.
So I kind of look at this, I'm around here, I wander in this building every day, and I see what's going on, and I think this would relieve, she has a lot of other things she needs to do, I look at this as kind of a hybrid city director of public works position, because they're going to assume some of those responsibilities, but what I think we really need, and we've talked about this before, we need somebody that's going to try to write grants. We need somebody overseeing all these special projects and stuff like that. So I think it's a great opportunity. Dale will step in any time as deputy city manager, but he has his work to do too. He's pretty busy, and I think he's looking at. Well, I don't want to step on your parade. I read about a detective, so that's great. But I think everybody, the street department, the superintendent, the superintendent of utilities, they all have a lot to do. Everybody that sits downstairs has a lot to do, and I think we need to have somebody that's gonna, relieve you of some of your duties and enhance that position. And when, I know when you go on vacation, or you always got your cell phone on, you can reach at any time, and I'd like to see you kind of relax when you're on vacation, rejuvenate a little bit. Come back here with a smile on your face. Anyhow, that's my take.
Well, I know you're talking about me, but it says it requires a high level of interpersonal skills, and
see,
I don't have that.
But she asked me the other day if I was going back to work,
I'm out.
So, entertain a motion to consider proceeding with developing an assistant city manager position and eliminating the office of director of public service.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I will support him.
Okay, motion by Brem, supported by Stencil Barton, to proceed with developing an assistant city manager position and eliminating the office of director of public works. Any more discussion on this?
Just a question, Your Honor. On proceeding to develop, is this just the developing of the position right now, right? That's what this motion is?
That's correct, yep.
Okay.
So I've got the draft job description that'll probably be developed further, and we'll still have to take steps to enact the ordinance to modify the administrative position. So this is just giving me clarity that this is something that you want to pursue and to continue down that path.
You said the director of public works position's in the charter.
That's correct, so it can be
all we have
removed
to
by
do is-
ordinance.
Okay.
Mhm.
We don't have to change the charter.
Correct.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Bergeron,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Deveroy,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. City manager report.
So the fish hatchery restroom building is done with the exception that the electricity isn't turned on yet. So they had to have a special inspection because the it'd been off for such a long time. So they're hoping to be able to get that done by the end of this week, and then we'll do the final walkthrough next week, and hopefully it can be open to the public and in use at that time. The pickleball courts have started their resurfacing project, I think, today. They were able to get out there, so those things are moving forward well. I've made printed copies of the performance evaluation for myself. If you're interested in a printed copy, I'll send out the electronic copy at the end of the week, but I know some of you prefer paper. If you could have those to the mayor by whatever day I put on there, the 12th? I think that's right, it's a Friday. That would be much appreciated.
Yeah. Yes.
So, if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
So let me add to that. I want everybody to feel comfortable with saying whatever you want about her.
Can we just copy the one from last year?
Remember what happened, you send them to me, and then her and I sit down, we go over them, and we evaluate comments. And at any time, if anybody wants to come in and talk to her about her evaluation, you know, if you have your evaluation done and you feel more comfortable going in and talking to her, you can do that. Her door is open part of the time. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Chief Boulder's monthly report. Dale, you have anything to add to your report?
I sure do, Your Honor. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
I'm hungry.
Sorry, Dale.
I got candy bars.
First thing I'm gonna do is this.
Thank you.
You know, it's sometimes it's a little weird. You sit back, you hear some things, you talk, you know what how certain things go. The problem is our council members don't really see what goes on behind the scenes, and it leaves you guys leaving here with questions. Not only you guys, but whoever's tuned in to online. You know, they see and hear things, and they don't get the chance to explore certain avenues of what happened. I'm also glad this is recorded tonight, because that way people can go back and see what was actually said. You know, in regards to certain things on how they happen. You know, police responding to calls for service. You know, it's possible that there's certain places here that you know, police have responded to several times. And there are certain things that maybe we as police officers can't deal with or are not allowed to, because we may end up infringing on the civil liberties of somebody else. Sometimes that's difficult for people to understand, right? Especially when they feel they have a complaint, and that it's not being serviced, you know, or not being taken care of. Taking a look at certain things, you know, 6 different people, 6 different officers talking to people, and to the same people, and telling them the same thing. Now, obviously, as the chief of police, I'm responsible for my officers, and I will take it on the chin when they're wrong. But 6 different officers telling somebody the same thing, I don't know where to go, you know, obviously from here in regards to that. I'm not going to open up the entire report system and divulge everything, but I will tell you this. There have been discussions. There's been discussions in my office in regards to crimes that could possibly be charged when people misuse the 911 services. Now, never once, ever, have I ever told any citizen of this community, or Berry County for that matter, that we would not respond to their place or their call for service in regards to an emergency 911 call. If you ever hear me say that, I want you and whoever hears that to march me out the door. So that is the biggest farce I've ever heard. Again, that will never happen. If any citizen of this city calls for an emergency services call, they will receive the proper response. When my officers respond there and find out, sort it out, if it's an emergency or not an emergency, then they will be told exactly what they need to be told. So, again, there's certain things that just the council members don't get to see or hear. In regards to other things with our code compliance, I need to know what's happening. Andrea, I give you my card. Please give me a call. We will have a conversation. But again, sometimes that is just misunderstanding based upon how our ordinance is written, based upon what records we have in-house, how Frank obtains information. You know, I'm not saying that there's 100% Frank's right on whatever. What I will say is I'll listen to anybody. We'll talk about it and figure out what's the best way to move forward. Much like you know, having the meeting earlier, you know, with the landlord tenants, there's an issue right now that some people are not quite up to speed maybe in regards to how the city does things or why the city does things. And we're going to put a little thing together to where people can come to it and have the opportunity to ask questions. Because minus having the information at hand, we tend to speculate and assume, you know, based upon what somebody else may or may not say. So that's coming in the near future. So we're transparent. You know, obviously I'm going to defend everybody here, including the citizens. I'm going to defend my city manager, Dan, Rob, all of them. Because we've all worked together, we all have a common goal, and that's you know, to make it the best life possible here in the city. We might not always agree. And as a matter of fact, I can guarantee you we don't always agree. But we can respect each other and move forward. So, but with that being said, Summerfest was a great hit. You know, we've seen kind of a downward trend in regards to maybe attendance. Actually, attendance at 1212 West State Street, which, as some of you may know, is the Berry County Jail, which means...
I'm glad I didn't know that address.
Yeah, so we had a few things, obviously, with increased you know, attendance here in town. You know, you have some complaints that you deal with. But honestly, you know, I was here both nights. You know, Saturday night I did some paperwork for an hour and a half. You know, I mean, it was great. It was good to see the community come together, another Summerfest into a year here, and you know, not large chaos type stuff that you know, back in the day it was a little bit wilder. So, and you know, some people may or may not have been involved, but, or seen. But either way, Summerfest was good. DPS, the fire department, the PD, and like I always like to say, everyone worked together. Without without working together, we wouldn't be here tonight, for one. And for two, it just wouldn't go as smoothly as it does. So, and yes, sir, you're right, I finally posted a detective's position. I have 3 people in the department that have responded to my email. So that process will continue moving forward. And we'll see how it works, you know. We got to start somewhere. And it's looking like we have started, and it's a long process. And we'll go from there. So if anybody has any questions, I know this was a little bit different for me tonight, but I felt I had to get this, go out with, or lead off with that. So if anybody has any questions.
How long you been a detective?
About 2, just over 2.5. Yeah, about 2.5 years.
Okay.
So,
And how's the work been getting done without a detective?
the deputy chief, myself, officers. That's why I say I will put my officers up against any other department because they do their own work. You know, they take a complaint, they can't hand it off to a detective bureau. So is it efficient? Maybe not, but it works. And based upon the manpower shortage that we've had, it's been difficult. So yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Chief?
Yeah, I'm going to ask this, and it's maybe against my better judgment, but so who handles the code violations? Is that like your department, or is there somebody that in particular does that?
So Frank Jasensic is our code compliance officer, and he is under my preview. So he works under my guide. So
Okay, and Frank has been with you
6 years, I believe. I'm guessing, but I think 6 years.
Okay.
He's been with us.
I just was looking at the numbers in all the categories, but it was code violations that seemed to take this enormous jump from last year.
The
Like
violation?
From 7 to 296.
I would have to look and see where.
256 is what it is.
On the code violations?
That's what this spreadsheet says.
That sounds like it's probably.
It might be an error, but.
I don't have Frank's report with me,
Okay.
sir.
That's
I
okay.
will look.
No, I just
Yeah.
thought I'd ask, because anytime I see those numbers where there's a giant increase.
Sure.
I mean, giant decreases are good, I would assume, for most of these too, but.
Yeah,
I just
so
saw
that
one and it
sounds.
sort of stood out.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah, I'm looking at, I see 17, year-to-date 2025, year-to-date 2024. 2024 is 256, 2025 is 17, year-to-date, is what I'm seeing. Code violations, 94003,
Well,
correct?
so it's gone down, not up. Looking at, so when I scroll on this thing, because it's a PDF, I lose the top category. Sorry about that.
Well, that makes me feel better.
That is better, sorry.
I'm sorry. We'll talk.
Poor
We
Adrian.
will talk, ma'am. For sure.
Yeah, so I guess it's gone down from 256 last year to 17 this year, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, we usually, I mean, typically, obviously, this time of year, one of the biggest things is grass. You know, was one of the, is obviously, you see the larger number there. And then, obviously, you know, and then, you know, it goes to certain things such as vehicles towards wintertime, and there's different trends. You know, the signs, obviously, during election time, you'll see that trend up with stuff like that, But yeah, Frank has actually done a really good job for us. And again, there are times where people of the community do not like Frank, and they don't like. It's kind of worse than getting a ticket from a police officer when he has to tell someone they have to mow their lawn, or something to that effect. And of course, you know. I don't like getting told what to do sometimes, and most of the time it's by my wife, you know, but, you know, I listen, you know, most of the time, so, but, anyway, I don't know if that answered your question.
Well,
or-
yeah, I was just looking at it wrong, but anyway, when there's a big change.
Sure,
I just
yeah.
think, especially a big drop, I think that's a great thing. So
Yeah,
things
Frank.
must be going in the right direction.
Frank utilizes an office on the main floor, because we don't have the space up here, otherwise he would be housed up here. He is on my RMS, or my report management system, so he has access to my files, and he writes reports under our report management system. And he typically, if Frank is here, I will see him 2-3 times a day, if not more, depending on the situation, what we're dealing with. So.
Perfect. Thanks, Dale.
Thank you.
In your package, you have city treasurer, her financial report. Anybody have any questions? You have anything to add, Linda?
I do not.
Okay, Community Development Director King's monthly report. Anything to add, Dan?
Unless there's questions, I have nothing else to add.
Department of Public Services Street Superintendent Neal's report. Anything to add?
So just on a couple things here. Sarah Sarasota pickleball courts started the grinding today. They expect to be doing that for a week, and then what their process is from there, I'm not sure. A couple other things that are happening. Thursday at 8 a.m. They're going to start construction for the salt bin out behind the garage. The excavators are scheduled to be here. September 4th, East State Road by the city limits is going to get repaved, repaired. It's going to be kind of a wedge surface, like we discussed last meeting. So that'll help down through there too. And then last year I started working with Dale a little bit. He talked to me about adding a crosswalk when we added the stop signs at Grand and Park Street. And as you've seen in your report, or my report, we did complete that. Got a lot of compliments on it. And so we're hoping here in the next week or week and a half to add some lines to it so we can make it a little bit better. But at least there's a place for somebody to cross and get across there with a wheelchair instead of hitting the head of the curb. Any other questions?
Any questions, Rob? When the street line painting?
I have RFP out for that right now. I think it's due next week, I believe, for that.
So we're gonna do it before it snows on the ground.
Yeah, yep, that's my plan, but after chip sealing.
Okay.
One thing I did forget to mention too, everybody kind of squinted at the price of the truck, which I don't blame them, I did too. One thing to keep in mind that we were going to get a swap loader truck. We wanted to. The price of that was about $298,000. We decided not to, and we decided to go the route of just a regular dump truck. But when the mayor was buying his trucks, he bought 2 dump trucks in 2001 for $112,000.
Yeah, pretty much same trucks too.
Again.
See, I was a negotiator though.
Who are you trying to fool?
Thanks, Rob. Always a pleasure.
Darn.
Okay, reports and communications, Riverside Cemetery Preservation Advisory Board minutes of August 13, 2025. Item B, Downtown Development Authority draft minutes, August 31st, 2025. Entertain a motion to accept these 2 items and place on file.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
I will support it.
Okay, motion by Stencil Barton, supported by Brem, to place items A and B on file. Any questions on those 2? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Public comment. Anybody else want to get back up?
I'll go. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
3 minutes. Tell me again who you are.
Sure. Andrea Keel. I live at 609 East State Road. And like I said, I've done nothing but improve the property since I moved, bought the property from my dad and moved in, and we had a lot of pride in, our home. And The fact that our cars were pulled into the grass, it says on the letter here too that it was in the front yard. They were on the side of the house and they were there for less than 24 hours. It's obvious by looking at my yard that cars are not parked in the yard ever. Once in a while, we do have extra company and that might happen, but not on a regular basis. So I just feel like maybe he should have stopped and asked someone even before writing that up. I just think it wasn't really necessary. And I just haven't felt very welcomed back to the community by that. So I guess that's it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay, just
You're not public.
I just wanted to follow up on Mr. Meyer's comment. You are actually going to see life ambulances in the city for the next 2 days. Joe, just trying to kind of give you a heads up. It's not earlier than planned. We worked with them while the new staff is going through, while the new Mercy staff is going through orientation. They're bringing a truck in to take care of the citizens while those personnel are out of service. So the fire department's running with those guys during the day, and then Mercy takes back over around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yep.
Hey, Martin. Mayor and council comments. Any comments tonight, Mike?
No, Your Honor, no comments.
Don?
No comment.
Ann?
No.
Where
I'm
you-
hungry.
Okay. That's your comment?
Start burning you some food.
Yeah, Mark, are you of the Myers, like, are you related to the food chain?
Yes, sir. I started working in retail when I was 11.
Okay.
He had cookies for Myers at the fire department. I did notice that.
I'll remember next time.
Let this be known, this isn't directed at you then. Over the weekend, Myers' name was kind of dragged through the mud. And I think it's important to bring this up simply because we're getting the store here in the area shortly. I would love to, is everyone familiar with what I'm talking about?
No.
There was a Meijer in Ohio that counted up a disabled employees, a mentally disabled employees. He was taking food that was meant to be thrown away, and the store manager added it up until he had, over a period of 3 months, $110 worth of food that he had stolen. And they publicly walked him out of the store and fired him. Meijer initially doubled down and said, we did the right thing, and then got public blowback all over the place on the internet, and eventually said, oh no, we've learned from this and we won't do it again, without listing any specifics. So my thought is, before we start seeing, and I don't know if we have any of this power to say this, before we start seeing any progress on a new store, I would love to know some specifics of what policies have been changed and improved upon to make sure that, yes, we're bringing in 200 jobs to this area. Are they going to be treated like this employee that was fired over what many people consider petty theft? Theft is theft, don't get me wrong, but something so morally gray. So nice.
Terry, any comments?
As soon as he said Meyer, I knew exactly what he was talking about. I disagree with him, but I have nothing else to say.
John?
I had a good time this weekend. If you ever get a chance to be a guest judge for Summerfest for American Idol, that was a blast. That was fantastic. And Mr. Meyer, I'm good friends with Peter and to a lesser extent Haley, so there's a family dynamic there for sure. But I know them very well, and welcome. I appreciate your service. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Anything else to come for council? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I support. Enthusiastic.
Motion by McLean, supported by DevRoy. to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same. We're adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
As soon as you said that, I knew what you were talking about.
So hungry.
There we go. We're going to her house for brats, everybody.
Well.